Hey guys, today we're going to learn about Alexandria Researcher. It is the cataloging system that we use here in our library at Union Valley to help us find books. If you've ever used a computer station over at the far end of the library that has 3 computers, then you've used this before. But today we're just going to go in a little bit more in depth on how to use it the right way to help you find books more precisely. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to BuehlerSchools.org. As you can see at the top right here, it's exactly what you have to type in. You can actually use this from home if you want to look up books from home. If you're trying to figure out your Sunflower Reader or just what book you want to read next, you can access this from home as well. So the first thing you're going to need to do is click on schools right here. For whatever reason, it doesn't pop up until you hit something else. So you're going to click on schools and you need to go down to Union Valley. This is extremely important. If you go to Plum Creek or if you go to Buehler Grade School and you try to access their catalog, you won't be able to find our books because you clicked into their library. So make sure you have gone to Union Valley Elementary and go ahead and click on that. Now once you get there, it's going to take you to our home page. You want to make sure that you are on the Students tab. The Students tab is what's available to you at any time. It's a little slow today. So you've used this here at school, whether it's for Accelerated Reader, the cataloging system, the calendars. You've used those before. There we go. All right, so this is all we have available to you right here. Now obviously today we are going to click on Library Catalog, and that's going to take us to Alexandria Researcher. Looks familiar, right? You've used this before over at the other end of the library. Today what we're going to talk about is how to look up a book. So the first one we're going to talk about is if I were to look a book up by the title. For example, here recently the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid came out, and that's a very popular book. So if I just wanted to look up any Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I could type in the title and then click title. Now obviously down here you have author, title, series, subjects, all words. You don't have to click anything at all, you could just click enter, but if I already know the title of my book, I want to go ahead and click title because it's going to make it a more exact search. Alright, so as you can see, here are all the books that we have that have the name Diary of a Wimpy Kid and the title. If you look up here, it says 15 choices. Alright, so I'm going to scroll down and kind of see what I have available. The pictures have finally popped up. Alright, and we wanted the newest one. So here is our example right here. We were looking for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Old School. Now the first thing we want to do if we're going to go find a book is to make sure that it's in. Right, as you can see here, it says this book is checked in, so I could find this on the shelf. If I were to look at this book down here, it says it is checked out, so that means another student has it, and you won't be able to get it for today. You could place a hold on it, but it's just not on the shelf at this time. Alright, so let's go back up here to Diary of a Wimpy Kid Old School. Alright, so this is the title, obviously. You're going to look for the title that you found, in or out, and then the next thing you're going to look for is the call number. Now in 1st and 2nd grade we talked a lot about the call number, so hopefully most of us still remember that. The call number are going to be the first entry at the very top of every single entry in our cataloging system. The reason the call number is so important is because it tells you exactly where to find a book. Alright, the first section right here says Fic. Obviously that's our fiction chapter books. E would say everybody. The numbers we know are nonfiction, and so on and so forth. So we know we're going to the fiction section, and then we're going to look here. Now these last three letters are the first three letters of the author's last name. So if you knew the author's last name was Jeff Kinney, the first three letters in his name are K-I-N. So I would then go to the Kinney section in our fiction section over at the far end of the library. All right, so this tells me the location, and this tells me exactly which shelf to look on because our library is in alphabetical order. All right, if I wanted to know more information, I could click on this title, and it will take me to the entry to get more information about this book. So as you can see, you have the call number again. We have our title. We have our author. We have our summary here. And you go down to the bottom and you can find as much information as you need. If you need the reading level is down at the bottom, as well as AR points, and even sometimes a test number. It just depends on what's all entered for this particular book. All right, so if we go back, we can go back to the new one, or we can go back to our search. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is to reset our search over here. Now, what if I wanted to find a book by an author? We have a button just for that particular reason right here. Let's say I read Mary Downing Hahn's The Doll in the Garden, which is a great book, by the way, if you haven't read it, and I wanted to read another book by that author. I could type in her name, Mary Downing Hahn, okay, and I could click on author. So we notice that that doesn't work. I wonder if author, if you have to do last name first. Mary Downing. So it looks like in our system, you have to type the last name of the author first, and then do comma, and first name. So we have 25 books by Mary Downing Hahn. Alrighty, so I can then, there are the pictures again, locate what books I want to look at. There's the one I already read, The Doll in the Garden, Fic, H-A-N, alright, so I know I don't need that one. There was one I noticed up here that had something that's different. If you see PA in our library system ever, that just means that it's a paperback copy. And they honestly will need to get changed over at some point. Alright, so let's say that I decide that I want to read Time for Andrew, another great book. I can click on that and it's going to tell me Fic for fiction, H-A-H, the first three letters of the author's last name, and that's where to find it. And I already know that was in because I saw that from the last page, and I can go down and get all the information that I need. All right, let's click reset search again. So we've talked about title, we've talked about the author. The last thing I want to talk about is our subject. Let's say I'm going to do some research on a certain kind of dog. If I want to do a broad search for a dog, I could click dog, and then I'm going to click subject. Here we go. We have a whole bunch. How much exactly? 50. 50 books that have the subject of dog. So I can look and see if this is one that I want. Not what I want for this project, I don't think. Let's say I was doing a project on beagles. This is the title, obviously. We have the fact that it's in, so that's great news. We're going to need to know that if it's in or out. And the next thing is the call number. Now this call number is different. It has a Dewey Decimal number. All right, 636.753. That is the specific call number for beagles. All right, so each book in the nonfiction section has their subject connected to a Dewey Decimal number, and that's going to be important to know. So chances are, if I go to this spot on the shelf, I'm going to find more books about beagles, if we have any, okay? So this is the decimals that you're going to use to look at our nonfiction section. Just like our fiction sections in ABC order, our Dewey Decimal System is a number order. So you're going to have to go to the 600 section and then go from there, all the way down to the last decimal. Okay, once I get that last decimal, then that section is also in order by the author. Simply, all you need to do is figure out, do I have an author's name? Do I have the title of a book? Or do I just know my subject? Then you have to figure out, is my book in or is it out, first of all? And then you have to look at the call number. Where's the location? And then what's the author's last name? So I can get the first 3 letters. All right? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for. Ask a friend. It's always better to ask someone than to not ask anything at all. All right? Have a great day, guys.